Welcome to episode 11 of the Success Show podcast, where we dive deep into the stories and expertise of extraordinary individuals shaping the landscape of their respective fields. Today's conversation is with Mr. Sharman Joshi, an Indian actor who's known for various films like Three Idiots, Golmaal, Ferrari Ki Savari, and many more. In this episode, we spoke about a diversity of topics, all the way from his journey into acting to how he got the role of Raju Rastogi in Three Idiots, and many more. So stay tuned. Before you start watching, please don't forget to like and share this video, as well as subscribe to this channel and the Ruhaan Mathreja Shorts channel. Follow me on Instagram at Ruhaan.Mathreja and at the Success Show podcast. Once again, you're watching the Success Show podcast. Enjoy. Hi, Mr. Joshi. Thank you so much for taking out the time and being on the show. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to finally have you after such a long time. How are you doing?
Pleasure, pleasure. How are you doing?
All good, all good. How's everything at home? I hope everything's well.
All well, all well.
I'm glad. So, before I won't get into, any in-depth details about your journey as such a great actor, I mean, to be honest, a lot of my friends are a fan of you, especially, from movies like Ferrari Ki Savari and Three Idiots for sure. I just wanted to ask you, coming from such a strong theater background, a lot of your family has been there, and that's where you started. Can you tell me a bit about your journey into Bollywood and how you know found this passion, and how did you know you wanted to pursue acting as a career? You know, and was it always something you wanted to do?
So, at a very early age, I had this instinct that acting is a career that I could look at. And
Okay.
also, at a very early stage, I had thought of options in my head that in case the acting career doesn't take off as per my plan, then I would be
Yeah.
a criminal lawyer, or in case that didn't work out, eventually a businessman. And for that, I was going to study
Okay.
BA, Business Administration, after my
Yeah.
graduation. But followed my instinct, took a while. I'm kind of a shy person to actually step out and see whether acting is a space that I could uh, take up seriously and make it my profession. I found that strength and courage only in my senior college. That's when I this thought must be with me from the sixth seventh standard, I think. And in my senior college, I felt that now it's time to test the waters, so to say. I got a good response at my
Yeah.
first stepping out, and thereafter, very encouraging responses every time I walked out there. And the last year of my college graduation, commerce is what I studied. I asked my father if I could be a part of a professional play that he was producing and directing. And he said that he would give me a
Hmm.
better part and plan a play specifically for me. But I said, no, this is very
Yeah.
important right now for me to do it just to get a sense of what professional theater is, to actually step onto the stage and be in front of uh, a ticket paying audience. What I had been doing was at a
Yeah.
mature level. So that was another story, and this would be another one. So fortunately, he had a part which he could offer me, and I took it up. And again, the response to that was very positive. I felt good, and I then decided to take the plunge and not
Hmm.
carry on with my studies further. Uh, and business administration, as I mentioned, was the plan, and I just plunged
Yeah.
into acting as a full-time profession.
What made you, want to be a criminal lawyer out of everything?
I don't know, just an instinct. Again, there was no uh, specific guidance or anyone from the family in the business of law
Yeah.
or in the profession of law. Uh,
Yeah.
I just felt that what if not acting? What would be my next choice in criminal law is something I wish to study and you know
Hmm.
mm, possibly practice it. And if not failing, which again,
Yeah.
business was something that I was going to do. So business administration would allow me to then study my law further. So business administration, then law, and then come back to business if it didn't fall in place.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think that's really interesting of a journey that you've had, having three different career options in front of you and you're being able to
mm,
experiment and then go ahead with what you actually love. I think that's really
yeah,
great.
yeah.
How did you end up
Give.
getting your first proper Bollywood movie?
Hmm. First of all, I would like to call it Hindi cinema or Indian cinema, but not
Okay.
Bollywood because that's a little uh, what's the right word for it? It's not very flattering to call ourselves Bollywood and compare ourselves to the Hollywood industry. Of course, they are doing
Hollywood.
some
Yeah.
wonderful work, and I really love the movies they make, and we need some catching up to do, and that will happen with time. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Indian cinema, Hindi cinema. Uh, I decided that my outings in my professional theater, various plays that I do, every play should be as important to me as the last one. And every time I start a new venture, I should start with a complete clean slate. Whatever my past experiences are to be rubbed out temporarily so that I can approach this
Yeah.
because I was still very young, approach this with a fresh attitude and willing to uh, learn from various directors whom I would be able to work with. Having gotten that in place, then I had thought that I was
No worries.
I played for my school, played for my college. So I had thought that I'll
Hmm.
treat my every outing. I've done Gujarati theatre, and Gujarati theatre you can end up doing 20 shows a month, 25 shows a month. So every time I stepped out on stage, I wanted to treat it as my most important Ranji Trophy match. Where if I scored a century or a double century, the selectors or the board, Indian Cricket Board, would know of this one player. Likewise, I was hoping that with my outings
Yeah.
with that intensity, would some people from the Indian film industry or the Hindi cinema industry would take notice of, and eventually I would get my first offer. So the plan was quite simple. Reaching out to
Hmm.
people, I had only five directors in my mind whom I wanted to reach out to. And I reached out to them very simply, got their number from a telephone directory, uh, call their office, and each one of them was kind enough to return my call or take my call and talk to me.
Hmm.
But I got my break by virtue of theatre. One Hindi theatre stalwart, Mr. Satyadev Dubey, recommended my name to Vinay
Yeah.
Shukla, the director of my first film, Godmother. That's how I got my first
Yeah.
one, and work leads to work, more work. I think Godmother
Yeah.
got me Style, which Chandraji had seen and he had appreciated the actor. And he chose to cast me in Style, which was my first commercial hit in terms of a Hindi film. And then one thing led to another. So has been the journey.
I think it's a very interesting journey, you know, because I'm a bit surprised as well that you had to go through so much in terms of reaching out to one director and to the other. Another thing I'm pretty surprised about is the fact that you're really shy. So I mean, how did you deal with that on set the first time you walked on in front of, say, a room full of 100 people watching just you?
So I
on
I
camera.
yeah. So I can I the facade is the character that I'm playing. So behind that facade,
Hmm.
I can be and through that character express myself or the character's emotions. So that's how I was.
Got it.
Whenever I had to perform any character, I the script I treated as my Bible or Bhagavad Gita or Quran, and many instructions were in the script itself, and then the director's guidance, and eventually the facade of the character. I used to play out the character. So that was the shyness was taken care of through that.
Yeah.
But on a
I think
personal
that's
level,
great.
one on one, yeah, then I have nothing much to
Yeah.
offer. Many friends and family members told me that you're an actor. When you give out these interviews, you should be
Hmm.
more entertaining than you usually are. I said, but that's the person that's being interviewed. That's not the actor who's on screen or stage playing a
Yeah.
character. So I am boring, and that's how it will come across. But hopefully, the characters I get to play will be more interesting than me in real life.
Yeah, I think I really want to, everyone would want to, know about your journey in Three Idiots, because I think that character of Raju Rastogi definitely was a very varied one. There were a lot of emotions. There was the comedic aspect as well. So, how did Three Idiots come along, right from, you getting the movie to the process of all of it, and how was
Raj,
it for you?
Raju sir, Raju Hirani had seen my Rajkumar Renari had seen my film style, which I mentioned earlier, years back, and
Hmm.
years later he casted me in Three Idiots. And when he had seen that film, he had thought to himself, which he shared with me, that I'm going to cast this actor someday in some film, but in a worthy role, in a role which is substantial in its length and every which way. Uh, and that's how I got Three Idiots. Just fell into my laps. I was doing my thing, various films here and there and everywhere. And
Hmm.
one fine day, I get a call from Raju sir, and after the audition process and all, I was finalized to play the role of Raju Rastogi.
Yeah. How did, Raju Rastogi as a character impact your life personally, or even your career for that matter? Especially because Three
My
Idiots was such a
career
big
it
hit.
impacted immensely. It became a household
Yeah.
name. I got a lot of love
Yeah.
for the character that I portrayed, and
Yeah.
the response was overwhelming. I think all of us involved in the film knew that the film was a special one because the script was exceptional, and we had a feeling that love this film is definitely going to receive, but in what
Hmm.
quantum we had no idea, and it surpassed all our expectations. Tremendous amount of love was
Yeah.
given to this film, and then to all the characters in it.
I think there's still love that's being given to the film, and people still watch it. Like I'm in a hostel. I told you that, right? I think earlier.
Yeah,
And so on Saturday nights we have these movie nights and stuff like that. So one of the days we'll play Three Idiots, and that's because that's such a classic. Then one day we'll play Ferreira Fairy, for example, all classics. So we still do love Three Idiots, and we still watch it. And so this love is, I think, still going on, even though the movie
thank
is
you.
pretty old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how did Raju Rastogi as a character impact you personally? If you could, say a couple lines on that.
I try to stay away from my characters as close as I am to when I'm portraying them. But I
Hmm.
don't know, on a subconscious level, it may have impacted me, but not on a conscious level for sure. Not that I'm aware of
Yeah.
any aspects that have really deeply moved me. Mm, I
Yeah.
played out the character as it was written, uh, and that is it. There's no real true impact apart from professionally, like I mentioned. Tremendous
Yeah.
amount of love came my way, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah. Completely agree with that.
But
I
I
also
might
wanted
have to
to
run in to 5 minutes, huh? So
sure,
if you
sure.
could, yeah. Yeah.
Sure. I also wanted to ask you, a bit about your role at in Ferrari Ki Savari, and your relationship with your father, because I think a lot of us, when we watched that movie, we felt this kind of extra bond with our fathers, and right from the sport, because even I play a sport, and then my dad constantly supporting me, stuff like that. So can you tell me a bit about the emotions that you went through? I know you just said that you try to stay as lesser
Away from
connected
the character. Yeah.
to your character,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, if it did impact you in any way at all, if you can tell me a bit about that.
Yeah. So Ferrari Ki Savari was labor of love. We all gave it our heart and soul. 2 years we worked on it, and we got a lovely response for the film. And
Hmm.
the character again that I portrayed was interesting. The love that the father has for his son within his
Yeah.
limited means. He was not willing to compromise to make the best possible situations or best possible opportunities that the father would create for the son, of course, through the
Yeah.
virtue of his own talent and skill and hard work. But he wanted to
Yeah.
bolster that with, uh, finance and whatever else is needed at a for a kid that young. And
Hmm.
I think that character beautifully portrayed that uh,
Yeah.
want of every father wanting to give the best to their
Definitely.
family, especially to their kids. And
Yeah.
it is an ode for all those fathers.
Yeah, I think I definitely do agree with that. Can you also tell me how you handle the pressure and fame from like the pressure of fame and stuff like that, and especially from fans? How do you handle the pressure of even media and stuff like that?
So there's no real pressure, honestly. I enjoy
Okay.
the love and the uh, compliments and the warmth which
Yeah.
with the audience members react towards the film. It might be a little
Hmm.
tiring sometimes. Uh, on a
Yeah.
couple of occasions, I may have lost my cool, which I then, of course,
Hmm.
regretted. But I'm just a human being, so sometimes you just
Yeah.
too exhausted and you can't match up to the energy and the enthusiasm of a fan, and then he or she may feel
Yeah.
offended, which you feel bad about. But I try to keep those
Even
days
you're
to the
human at
minimum.
the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, but I try to keep those days as little as few as possible, and
Hmm.
because I realize it's just love that they want to give me, and I'm more than happy to receive it.
Yeah. I just have one last question for you, and then I'd like to, ask you maybe three, four rapid fire questions. Uh, so lastly, I just want to know, if a lot of people may, had this friend from Chennai who wants to be an actor. For example, there may be a lot of people like him who really want to get into acting and in the Hindi cinema, like you said. So can you give a brief piece of advice to those people out there who want to become actors?
Only if you feel extremely passionate about it, extremely driven by the fact
Yeah.
that you want to be an actor, is when you should consider taking it up as a profession. As you understand,
Yeah. Yeah.
art form of any kind, including cinema, uh,
Hmm.
uh, the possibilities of making money are limited. There are
Yeah.
cases where you see the top notch actors doing extremely well and having a great lifestyle, and which is also a reality. But again, there are
Hmm.
millions over there trying to uh, cut across, break through, and
Yeah.
reach that position, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Mainly because if you're not coming from the right place in terms of your heart is not in the right place where you it's coming from
Hmm.
just the desire of the
Of
fact that
fame
you
and
want to be
money.
out there, not because of
Yeah.
anything else but because of the talent and skill you have within you. Be
Exactly.
very honest and true to yourself, set realistic goals for
Yeah.
yourself. It's very, very critical. um, Dreaming dreamer is also critical, but then the dreamer should have to has to be pulled out of his dreams by you only, by yourself. Because when you
Yeah.
know that there is something that you could do, but unless you're 100% sure, please don't go down the line. You can take it up
Yeah.
as your part-time
Hobby.
passion kind
Yeah.
of a project. But if you are, of course, fully motivated and you are sure this is what you want to do, then be
Yeah.
assured, uh, as much as you would make at whatever position you are in your profession as an actor, producer, director, whatever you're doing, you will,
Yeah.
in terms of monies, let's say you become a Shah Rukh Khan, in terms of monies, your income will be limited to what it could be. And compared to the success of a businessman at the level of a Shah Rukh Khan, the monies will be in multiples of hundreds, correct? He will or
Yeah.
she will have
Yeah.
as opposed to an actor. So that's a reality and that's fine. That's also how much money do you need at
Yeah.
the end of the day. So,
Definitely.
but only if you really want to do it. Otherwise, give it a thought. Don't get taken away by the glamour of it because it's
Yeah.
honestly, it's glamorous only from the outside. From the inside, it's a lot of hard work, lot of hard work,
I know.
and not
Yeah.
glamorous at all.
I know. I mean, thank you so much for that piece of advice. I'd just like to ask you maybe three, four rapid fire questions and we can end this episode. So,
Hmm.
what's your all time favorite Bollywood movie?
Uh, Three Idiots is one of them. Lagan is another one.
Yeah.
And what else I like? Uh, Naya Daur, an old Dilip Kumar film. Uh, yeah,
I've watched Three Idiots and Lagan. Of course, I haven't heard of the third one to be honest. I think it's a
you
pretty
must
old
watch
film, correct?
Naya Daur. It's fabulous.
Okay,
Mm.
I'll keep it in mind. Uh, what's your habit? Any habit or ritual that you have before going on set that you follow?
Just tell myself, firstly, you'll have to work hard. You know, you make sure that you are
Yeah,
happy with your hard work. So then once I'm on set, I tell myself before any shot, if I'm feeling nervous at all, then I tell myself that I've worked very hard. I
yeah,
have got this. I need to relax and now I need to enjoy myself. So hard work
yeah,
I've done already. I need to relax because it's very critical to bring out the best within me, and then I have to enjoy myself. Otherwise, it's all pointless. So yeah,
exactly. I think that's really inspirational, and that's something everyone should keep in mind. What in whatever profession they're doing.
true.
Um, uh, i- i- um, Sorry. Yeah, if you had to play one other character apart from Raju Rastogi in Three Idiots, what would it be? I'm sure you've been asked that question a lot of times, maybe too.
Not really, but yeah, Farhan's character is good. Rancho.
Yeah. Um, if not an actor, what would you be doing? Lawyer or a businessman?
This is fine.
And lastly, three words to describe Sharman Joshi.
Uh, Currently at peace with myself. Uh, Always a go-getter. Wish to die with my acting boots on.
Thank you so much. This is the end of this
Thank you.
episode, and it was an
Thank,
absolute honor and pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for your
thank
valuable time.
thank you, beta. God bless you. Take care.
Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Take care.
See you. Bye.